So many puppies.
Too many puppies. Too many puppies.
Welcome to Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. My name is Tom.
Hi, Tom.
It's podcast number 22, baby. Woo!
The double deuces. Woo!
Deuce. All right. Yes. So, like we said, Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. My name is Tom.
Hi, Tom.
I'm a fantasy sports addict. And Danny, our buddy, Danny or Bronson or whoever the fuck his name is, skipping class to watch this podcast. So, fuck
Sweet.
class. Welcome to Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. And there's Ryan. He's also a fantasy sports addict.
Absolutely. Welcome for joining. For this podcast, we're actually going to do it in reverse of how we normally. So normally we end with our fantasy sports serenity prayer, but we figure we change it up. What the hell? Let's go ahead and start with the serenity prayer. Tom, may I?
You may. Actually, are you sure you want to do it? I could do it, but
All right, Tom, you do it. What the hell?
why not? Fuck it. All right. Fantasy guys!
Fantasy gods!
Please grant me the serenity. Set my ideal motherfucking lineup. The courage to add drop.
Ow!
Aggressively. And the wisdom
As always.
to make good trades. Okay. So, like we said, welcome to podcast number 22. Today we're here. Whoa.
Let's again, like this video, subscribe to our channel. If you're watching this and you don't actually subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher, go ahead and subscribe to us and leave us a rating. You know, anything greater than 3 stars, give us a review. Like, you know, hook us up, help us out. You know, again, we're addicts, not experts, but you know, the support would be nice.
Definitely. We always appreciate the support. We appreciate any comments you have, any kind of feedback. If you tell your friends, share us with all the other fantasy addicts you know. It's what we're all about, the community, baby.
Also, we usually start our podcast with a question and answer, question crack, knock, who's there, questions
Dave's
and
not
answers, biatch.
Right.
But we're going to be doing that at the end of this podcast. So if you happen to join late and you're watching this and we're still going live, like just skip to the end and then, you know, leave us some questions and that kind of stuff. So Bronson, I know, or Dan, you know, you're there. Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get, you know, maybe 1, maybe 2 other people that happen to hop on here.
I'm hoping so. I mean, skip class, watch us. I don't know. Class sucks anyways.
Take a break at work, whatever.
Right. We're just here talking a little fantasy sports. We're here talking today. We're talking about whoa, the blue mic's in the fucking way. Sorry, these video podcasts are a little new. We're trying to streamline this process, but we'll get it. Yeah. So we're talking about fantasy football playoffs. We're talking about accidental trades. We're also talking about the baseball winter meetings. Some of you may or may not know that baseball is our favorite sport, actually. So Ryan and I are
hands down.
Woo! We're getting fired up about baseball coming up next month.
Right? And if you don't know and you can't tell by Tommy's hat, we're diehard Diamondbacks fan, and the D-backs have made a hell of a lot of noise this winter meetings.
Maybe the most noise. Cubs are second.
Again, we're making a lot of noise. We paid over $200 million for Zach Greinke. Did a blockbuster trade where he traded the number 1 overall pick in last year's draft for Shelby Miller.
That was madness.
I mean, again, we like Dansby Swanson a lot. Again, I think Dansby Swanson for Shelby Miller straight up, I don't think I would have done.
No. What do you mean? Well, let's get into that. We'll talk about it later. Let's go right to the football. Can we do that? Like, how many? I don't know. We've been complaining for like the last couple of weeks about football. Like, we've been fucked out the window. I mean, ironically, I thought Andy Dalton literally fucked me straight out the window on Sunday. There were two teams where I was like teetering. You know, I'm like that fifth place team trying to play up to fourth place in like a public league or something. You know, and just this one situation, like, please let me make it in. My team's like 4 games over 500, and just let me get in. Let me get in. And then Andy Dalton bust his thumb, and it was a nightmare scenario. But thank God, thank the fantasy gods.
Fantasy gods, thank you.
Thank you for Odell Beckham, right?
ODB.
I mean, did you have any Beckham this weekend?
I did. I think I had a similar situation with you in one of my leagues as well, where he went off, won me the week, and got me into the playoffs.
Okay. How many total playoff teams do you have for fantasy football?
I'm gonna say I actually made the playoffs in 5 of my 7 leagues.
Wow.
I think it is 5 of 8,
Okay.
something like that. So I had a good showing. I mean, there's honestly all the leagues I'm in. There's 2 leagues that like I really care about. Like one, it's our work league especially. I want to win that one, and then Joe's for Dynasty League.
Joe's Dynasty League, in addition to your work league, both those leagues.
Yeah, those are the 2 leagues I care the most about easily.
Okay. Why is that? Why is that though? Because they're dynasties, both of them?
Well, yeah, they're actually both dynasties, but the work league is just for bragging rights among my coworkers.
Well, I think we've said that before. If there's one league you have to win, it's always your work league because you got to impress.
I mean, here I am doing a fantasy sports podcast, and like most of these coworkers and friends of coworkers that are in this league, it's a 14-man league. Like, yeah, they like football and like they may dabble a little bit in fantasy, but like they're not addicts like we are, like I am, and like really I should be able to win this league.
I hope so. Are you going to win it? You going to win
it? This league actually started the playoffs a week early, so we actually just finished round 1 of the playoffs.
And you're still going.
I'm still going. I scored the most points in the entire league. And I got cute and I did end up starting Sean Drawn in that league over Gurley.
Okay,
and
now
again, if you listen to our live stream we did during the week, I was going back and forth. I think it was the Thursday night one we did.
Yeah, you told
about
me
who to start. I did tell you it was.
You asked me. You asked me, and I said
I didn't ask you. I asked our viewers.
I said start Todd Gurley, and you didn't start Todd Gurley. Look what happened.
Both you and Bronson told me to, and I should have. But at the same time, I still won by almost 30 points, scored more than anybody in the league, and I would have had over 150 points if I started Gurley.
That would have been absurd. Well, next week start Gurley, I guess.
Yeah, again, I'm riding or dying with Gurley at this point.
Yeah, I don't have Todd Gurley outside of our writers or experts league. That writers, speaking of big weeks, dude, we finally saw something out of our top 3 picks in that writers experts league, the Fantasy Sports Writers Association.
Yeah,
league.
I saw that.
Okay, so yeah, like Eddie Lacy. Who else? Well, all right. So Eddie Lacy, Russell Wilson, and Bears wide receiver. Yeah, Alshon Jeffrey. All 3 of them finally put up some points. And considering they were our top 3 picks in this Writers League, they did absolutely goddamn nothing all year long. And like, I mean, we would have like an okay game from Russell.
From
one of them, maybe, if that. Like, honestly, most of the time they weren't even playing. But like, last week, all 3 of them go bananas, and it's like too little, too late. I mean, we had probably when I was looking at one point Sunday, we had more points than anybody in the league. Yeah. And of course, we're not in the playoffs, you know. So
no, like we're fucked out of the window in that league. But honestly, that league it goes back like again. If you've seen some of our other videos or live streams, like goes back to like the first thing you do is you check the league settings.
Oops.
This was a 2-point PPR league, and we did not draft it as such. So pay attention to your league settings is like
Rule
first and
one.
foremost. Second is set your queue. Even
Okay.
if you're there in the live draft, have a queue. Like, don't trust yourself to the internet gods.
No, God, how did we know? All right, it's 2.5 PPR. The fuck is
Okay.
that? Who 2.5 points per reception? What? I've never
That's
seen.
ridiculous.
I've never seen anything like that. And we didn't
No.
anticipate it. We thought this was like a writers' league. It's going to be really straightforward stats, real normal, maybe a PPR kind of thing. But the way they've allocated points and scoring is so bizarre. I mean, we have like players that wouldn't even matter in most leagues, but because it's 2.5 PPR, like all of a sudden they have value.
Yeah, and it's also just kind of a deep league with weird settings as it is.
Well, it is the FSWA deep writers league or whatever the fuck they call it. Then they call it going deep or something insane.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't. These guys were not fucking around when they said it was going deep. I mean, they went deep.
So obviously we didn't make the playoffs on that league. We had a real shitty showing. But again, if we don't finish last place, we're happy. We didn't do well.
Yeah, we're addicts, not experts. We bullshit. Like, I mean, if you've seen the video, we always bullshit our way into these experts leagues anyway. So for us not to come in last, hey, at least we ran with the big dogs, right? I feel pretty good about it. I don't know. Football, probably my worst sport personally. Although, ironically, 4 out of 6 of my teams are in the playoffs. So however that happened this year.
Yeah. And I'm sure like you, one of my teams where I didn't make the playoffs, I was fucked out the window with Jamal Charles and Des Bryant.
Okay.
You know, just injuries upon injuries. Like, again, it's hard not to have that happen to you from time to time, especially in football.
Yeah, I agree. Well, fuck. I mean, my situation with that particular league, one of the ones where I didn't make the playoffs, it was just like, again, injuries. That's all it was. I think that's all it was this year for me at all, anywhere. Just injuries, nonstop. And then my propensity to draft rookies. So like,
yeah,
my known quantities all go get blown the fuck out the window. And then my rookies either don't perform or kind of whatever. You know, I mean, Winston Mariota, I don't mind that quarterback combo though. I could have had a better quarterback showing, but
yeah, I mean, it's not like Mariota. I mean, even Winston's had some games, but
they take turns. It's like every other week. I just trade quarterbacks. Like every time I play Mariota. Yeah, well, there were a few leagues where I did go pick up Carson Palmer instead of riding Mariota. Well, and that's how I ended up with like Andy Dalton, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there were other quarterbacks I picked up, but
well, again, one thing I kind of noticed with like a lot of these public leagues I'm in, where honestly, if you're just active, making an occasional move here and there, but setting your line, like honestly, you should make the playoffs.
Well, you know what? I hate to say it. That auction stuff we did the other night, it's still getting to me. I'm dying.
Your auction sickness.
Yeah, it came back. I hate.
I mean, again, we're so bad that we got to do mock drafts in December.
One of our
like analysts or fanalists like don't even know that's possible.
Yeah, they're asking like, hey, what?
We just never stop drafting or doing mock drafts. Like, god damn.
Why would you? It's addicting. Why stop? Yeah. Then you got to go through withdrawal like I do. I hate stopping.
I love you. Have a good day.
Yeah. We love you, Grace. Bye, Gracie. Woo!
Wifey's off to work.
Woo! Yay! Sorry.
And again, yes, I'm drinking beer. This is actually my night. I've already worked 12 hours today.
Okay, so it's 8:40 in the morning, 8:45 in the morning, and Ryan's drinking beer.
But that's my 8:45 at night.
Fair enough. Uh, oh, Bronson wants to skip class and do a draft. Now, I don't think we can advocate that, can we?
No, you gotta get your education.
At least finish fucking high school, buddy. You got to do high school. I mean, if you're skipping college classes, that's on you because like you paid for it. You know, that's you can catch up maybe.
And honestly,
You're in high school. We can't advocate you skipping class, bud.
honestly, I don't have a whole lot of more time after we do this podcast. You know, I'll probably be getting to bed before too long. I gotta get back to work.
Okay. I'm thinking we should maybe do a pickups video, even though it's already Tuesday. We'll do a pickups video real quick or something.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. But getting back to football and work and my work league, I was kind of mentioning this to you earlier about my coworker who is actually going to be eating his socks today.
Wait. Eating like I don't have one here lying around. Like a sock, like shoe, foot, sock, like a sock.
Yeah.
He's eating a sock.
And again, I actually got to give him props for going through with it. He actually brought it into work today.
So a sock, an actual sock.
Yes.
Cotton sock?
He
a poly cotton blend?
Well, he burned it and cut it up, like, so he brought it in this little like Tupperware dish.
Okay.
It charred up, burnt, cut up little socks. It almost looks like the rubber asphalt. You know, have you ever been on one of those, like where road was freshly paved, but it's that like soft rubber shit? Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's just like, you know, a black like work sock, like burned to a crisp and like cut up.
And he's gonna eat this? He's
gonna eat it.
You can't eat. Oh my god! Does he have any idea the kind of carcinogens in there? He's gonna give himself like colon cancer.
He was a little worried about that when I left. He actually was, because again the sock he had probably had like elastic and plastic type shit in it.
Yeah, this sounds not cotton. This is not cotton. This isn't just like a natural cotton fiber sock.
He was talking about getting like finding like some like 100% cotton stuff. So maybe he does eat it today, maybe not. I told him to anyways, just because it was there.
Why? All right. Why is he eating a sock? Please explain this.
This goes back to like week 6 or 7 into the league. Last year's champion, who's also another coworker of ours, backed his way into 8th place, ended up winning the league.
All right, backing in Barclays, baby.
Exactly.
I love it.
And so he's last year's winner. And then this year, you know, again, he was doing awful and all this stuff. And like the two coworkers were kind of talking some shit to each other. And, you know, the one coworker said he's going to make the playoffs. It doesn't even matter. And the other coworker, no, this is the one who won the league last year.
Okay.
And so the other coworker told him, if you make it, I'll eat my socks.
So he said, if you make it into the playoffs, I'll eat my socks. That's what he said.
That's what he said. He was just like so sure that the dude wasn't going to make the playoffs because he was in like last place, second to last place. Like, you know, it didn't look good for him.
So he backed in again.
And like I said earlier, this was already the first week of the playoff, the 8th seed, and he's already knocked off the number 1 seed again.
Backing it in again. And so now this other guy's got to eat socks.
So he couldn't just like scarf down a sock as is. So like I don't know if he threw it on a grill or in a pan or what he did.
Did he like marinate
it? Was literally like a charred up, deep fried sock cut up into a bunch of pieces.
Jesus.
Where it looked like, you know, what you find in a fireplace.
I have to imagine this guy's wife is like looking at him when he's doing this, like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
He's divorced.
Okay, well, poor bastard. That's why. That's probably why, and I can relate. Poor bastard.
again, this was just him kind of like talking shit, and like I don't think he actually thought it was going to happen. And
why follow through with it then? I'd be like, dude, I'm not actually going to eat a
of
sock.
course, that's you who like you.
I don't make bets like that though. I wouldn't make that. I would say I'll eat.
I don't know. I thought I was supposed to pie you in the face, but you said no to that.
I didn't even agree to it. How could I say yes to it when I said no to it?
I thought you said yes to it.
I said no to it. It's on record. It's on video. There is me saying no. I say no. I shook my head. I said no.
But again, I applaud my coworker for following through with it.
That is some follow through, but my God, like burned up plastic.
And I'm really hoping
bad for
that
you.
they get a video of it, because I told both my coworkers that I gotta have a video of it.
Yes. Like, we'll put it on our channel. We'll put it on our channel.
Exactly. And so I'm hoping.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put them on our channel.
Because again, that's what they get shitty tattoos.
Oh no, Ryan crapped out.
Pride, or I don't know what the fuck it is.
You crapped out there for a second. What were you saying?
I was just saying that, like, it's not even about the money. Like, we're addicts. That's what this channel is about.
Right.
And it's about eating socks and taking pies to the face and chugging beers left after you're set that you lost your league.
Yeah, we do a lot of weird stuff, I guess, like that. We definitely do. Apparently, you eat socks when you lose too. God, I mean, at least the poor guy needs a cotton sock. Somebody get him 100% cotton.
Yeah.
Or wool or something, at least so like it's a natural fiber that's like digestible or not toxic. I don't know. God, that sounds terrible. Oh, poor guy. Yeah, so we gotta get a video of this.
And Joe, if you watch this or you're listening to it, like, I'm coming for you in your league. Like, I finished in second place. This is the other football league I give the most shits about.
Okay, look at all the fucks Ryan gives right now.
So I'll be really happy if I win this league. And Joe, I think if I do win this, fucking trophy.
You need a trophy, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, Joe recently received one of our trophies. It was a beautiful gold scimitar. Yeah. I mean, you could take over a fucking pirate ship with that baby. You could buy a pirate ship with it. Yeah, I'm excited. All right, so I mean, it's fantasy football playoffs. I didn't actually expect 4 out of 6 teams to be there. I thought, for sure I was losing, two teams out of the playoffs last week, but somehow, and it was thanks to Odell Beckham.
ODB, woo, yeah!
Literally, yeah, both teams. It was a clean sweep. I only had one team finish below 500 this year, so there's one more where I didn't make the playoffs. It's a 500 team. Again, just too many injuries. Joe's league, it's dynasty. I went way young, so and it was funny. Like all of a sudden, I can't lose. So my team actually matured. It was really young, but it matured towards the end of the season. I was actually playing spoiler the last few weeks. I was bumping people out I bumped Flash down a spot or two, I think.
Okay.
So, nobody's getting a bye week coming past me, baby. Get fucked out a window, Flash.
Well, there's no bye week anyways.
Oh, there's no bye week in Joe's league? Okay, never mind. Oh, what do you get? What? Birds already? I thought we were actually going to make it through without a live stream or a live video without somebody doing this.
No, sorry, we tried.
You're just like Craig. You're like Craig from South Park, or
There's the South Park reference.
There, yep. All right, now we're just missing the Arrested Development reference.
Give it time.
Well, all right, so before this podcast is over, we're going to work in some South Park. Well, we already did South Park, but we'll work in Seinfeld, probably a Simpsons reference, and an Arrested Development reference. We can't help ourselves.
And Tom's going to do his Fargo accent.
Oh, yeah, you betcha.
All right, so speaking of Fargo and the cold and the winter.
It's, I
baseball winter meetings.
Brr, it's chilly, and then the winter meetings come around, and the fucking hot stove heats up, and I was so warm.
Absolutely.
Yeah! Woo! Yay! D-back!
Woo!
Right, we're pretty excited about what the D-backs did. Besides the uniform change, some people were not maybe a fan of the uniforms. I love the new uniforms personally, especially the road gray. I might actually. All right, so there's a long history with me and the D-backs, but well, obviously I live here, but actually, I have a feeling I should email the team president and offer to exchange my current jersey.
Why do you want to do that?
Because I want the road gray, dude. I want that road gray with the teal and red.
They're
It's
just
so
not gonna
mean.
let you exchange a jersey.
Why not? I lived through heart surgery. They wanted me there opening day 2008. They love my story. They used it for their they actually took my fucking story to the winter meetings. That whole reach out to the fans and use their suggestions and stuff. They took what I had to say to the winter meetings. Actually, they told me about it. And I figure if I'm there, why can't I just be like, I got this red, the Sedona red. It's been good to me since 2008. I haven't washed it once. It's still just brand new out of the packaging, covered with mustard and ketchup and beer. I wear it on set all the time. Everybody's seen my Sedona red D-backs jersey.
Yeah.
I want gray. I want that road gray that's so dark and so mean with the teal and the red. Oh, that road gray uniform is so good, dude. I love the road uniforms.
See, I don't know how I feel about the gradient. I have to actually see him in person.
I love it. It's so modern,
I gotta
dude.
see it. I gotta see it.
It's that's the whole snakeskin gradient thing. It's so modern. It's so I love that we can do that.
Other than the uniforms, they signed Zach Greinke.
And he's gonna look the best, like a model in that shit. The flow and the road gray.
He already cut the mullet off.
Did he cut the flow? Well, it'll come back. It's Arizona. That thing's coming back anyways. Randy tried to cut his hair once. I remember that. It grows back.
I think Randy had it cut when he came back the second time.
Well, it grew back. It's Arizona. Your mullet's coming back, baby. I have to shave my head just to prevent mullet.
So we know what the Diamondbacks did. Shelby Miller, Zach Greinke. They're probably still fucking help.
Wait, what?
But,
Internet's fucking up.
Okay, so Diamondbacks, Greinke, Miller, probably still looking for internet or bullpen help.
They're looking for internet help, and so are we. God damn.
Yeah.
Goddamn internet connection. Why won't you work? But yeah, so the D-backs, I think, won the winter meetings, basically. Maybe second place was Cubs. I mean, Nathan's had a lot of fun this offseason. They got their wacky lackey. They got
John Lackey, Jason Hayward.
And
that was
Zobrist.
Huge. Yeah, and Ben Zobrist.
They traded Starlin Castro. So
I know the Yankees were happy about that one.
Castro?
Yeah.
Nathan wasn't too thrilled about it. And I don't think I was either. I mean, that's one of those things. Castro's kind of their veteran. And it seemed like there was a good chemistry, in the infield between, Castro
him and Darwin Barney.
Well, no, he and Russell. And then also Bryant. I think Bryant and Castro were kind of buddies. And so I'm I know you bring in Zobrist and he can be like a Craig Counsell type super ultra utility that just does everything.
Right.
But if it's not broken, don't fix it. I know they were able to go get pieces and do things they needed to do, but I think there's a lot for chemistry.
They still have pieces and they're still going to be able to do more. The Cubs system is fucking stacked.
Yeah. I hope we can do more. I wouldn't mind seeing.
Again, we need to do more. That's the whole going all in. You don't half-ass it. We didn't half-ass it in 2001.
No, Jerry Colangelo didn't fuck around. Now, all right, did you see the article from Jeff Passan or Passan or whatever the fuck from Yahoo where he's talking about, all right, so the D-backs were in on Jose Fernandez. Now they need to really get in on Jose Fernandez even though they already gave up.
Yeah, I did see that. But again, I don't think we have the pieces. And
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. They'll take Yasmani Tomas. They'll take salary. They have to take salary. It's Florida.
right.
Florida has to take salary.
Tomas, Bradley. We
I do
still have
Corbin.
Shipley, right?
Yeah.
Corbin
I do Shipley, Corbin, Yasmani Tomas.
and Archie Bradley, and then maybe one other piece.
No, hold Bradley. You can probably hold Bradley in that.
I don't think we can.
One of
Not
Corbin
if we keep
all right,
Pollock.
so it's got to be one of Corbin or Bradley. One of them is going. And I would try to move Corbin personally. Just keep Bradley, but
supposedly the Dodgers are in.
Dodgers, yeah, that package they were talking about getting Peterson, Sager, and
Urias.
That's never going to happen.
No, that's fucking asinine.
I mean, what we gave up for Shelby Miller was asinine. So
yeah,
if we still have the pieces though, where I'd love to see the D-backs get Fernandez somehow. I mean, Tomas, maybe Lamb. I mean, that's the thing is Florida needs a little bit of everything. We already trade, but we have other outfielders. We could move O'Brien. We could move, Brito. We could move Tomas. We have options. The D-backs have options to make trades, like a Fernandez deal. They still have the options, and I hate to see Bradley go. I'd rather see Corbin traded, just because I think Bradley's obviously got much higher ceiling. But if it costs Bradley to get Fernandez and go in now,
you do it.
Yeah, you do it. I mean, we said there was two pieces in the D-backs farm system or prospect wise, which were untouchable. We were saying it was Archie Bradley and Dansby Swanson. So obviously Swanson's gone. Swanson went in the Miller deal, but Bradley, God, he's my guy. B-Rad. I mean, he's been. Should I tell the story? Do I have to tell the story? Do I have to tell the Bradley story?
Real quick.
Well. All right, really quick. Bradley's story for me. All right, so obviously I got my clone team sickness for dynasty leagues in both of our dynasty baseball leagues. I took Bradley number 1 overall, and the year that Bradley went number 1 overall, I passed up the likes of Carlos Correa, Chris Bryant, and more. I'm just going to say those two. Do I need to say any more than Carlos Correa and Chris Bryant? I passed them. That was it. And I got my B-Rad because I was playing the homer. I played the homer, which you're not supposed to do. I still got my guy. I mean, I needed pitching. I didn't need a third baseman like Bryant. For sure, I didn't need a third baseman. I didn't think I needed a shortstop, but of course I really do. Everybody needs a Carlos Correa, for fuck's sake. And you pass on a Carlos Correa. You dipshit. That's just me. Bradley. Where'd you go, Ryan? Now I'm just sitting here pining over Archie Bradley and Carlos Correa. Doing a podcast all by myself. Where the fuck did you go, Ryan? Well, apparently Ryan's been fucked out a window for this podcast. What else happened at the winter meetings? I mean, I can talk about that. Obviously, the Cubs and the D-backs were a big deal. Oh, Ryan, are you back? Hello? Ryan, hello?
I'm back.
Yay! Where'd you go, dude? What the fuck happened there?
I don't know. Google Hangouts quit, and I tried to reload it, and it said something about getting started, and sorry about that.
All right, we're just getting started, folks. Woo! All right, what else do we want to talk about at the winter meetings? Was there anything else we really gave a shit about other than the D-backs and the Cubs?
Well, David Price was the big one. I'm sure.
That's right.
Again, he's part of your dynasty league.
Clone teams,
and he went to the Red Sox, and he's staying in the AL East.
I'm disappointed by that. Honestly, that guy just. Why the fuck does he like the AL East so much? It hasn't hurt him, but I mean, he obviously does quite well in the AL East. But I just thought coming to the National League, somewhere like the NL West, he would just be honestly. I actually wish the D-backs. I mean, at the time, I was really hoping the D-backs would go for Price instead of Greinke. Greinke's older, but I think Greinke. All right, so Price is kind of a fly ball pitcher, which might not work in Arizona. Greinke's more of a ground ball kind of guy.
To me, it's about the playoffs.
All right, so playoff record, that's the thing about Price. It's not like he's sucked in the playoffs. He hasn't gotten a win, but he hasn't gotten run support. That's the thing about Price. So I'm not worried about, like, if I'm spending $200-some million on a pitcher for 6-7 years, I'm putting that same money on Price because he's 2 years younger, he's a lefty, and even if he's a fly ball pitcher, we've had fly ball lefties in Arizona before who loved golf. Price fits Arizona so well. I wish we had Price. I honestly do. Greinke, though, was like shocked the world because we didn't think D-backs were going to sign anybody or anything.
Well,
like that.
I like Greinke a hell of a lot more because it's that whole we took him from the Dodgers.
That has like that's worth the money on its own. That we spent $200 million to get back at them for pissing in our pool. That's all. That's literally what that was. The owner, the D-backs owner, Ken Kendrick, is so mad at the Dodgers. He spent $200 million just to spite them. Why not? Fuck it.
Hey.
And as D-backs fans, we're not gonna
speaking of the Dodgers and the winter meetings, there's the whole Aroldis Chapman fiasco.
Yeah, what's gonna happen with your closer your favorite closer? And actually, all right, so in the history of our dynasty leagues, I traded Chapman to get Price from you.
You speak of the devil?
Yeah.
But you gave Chapman and Macho Man Manny Machado for David Price was what it was?
It was David Price and Trevor Bauer. So I got that Bauer Machado thing didn't work out exactly.
No.
Oh well. Whatever.
But also I have Kenley Jansen, who is the Dodgers stud closer as it is. So when I first heard about the trade, I was pissed. Because in a keeper league, you can't keep a fucking setup guy regardless of how good he is if you're a fucking championship contending team.
No, not at all. Well,
like, again, I probably still would just because the stats are still there. It's just holds instead of saves, which thankfully our leagues both do have holds.
Holds and saves.
But I was pissed.
Oh, I'm pissed. Dude, I got fucked. I got fucked out a window with my closing. Seattle traded fucking Carson Smith, their future closer. Traded him to Boston to become a setup man, and he'll probably close in Boston eventually. But now I can't keep the guy. And he was like...
Yeah, but again, you're talking about Carson Smith when I'm talking about Chapman and Jansen.
No, all right, Carson Smith is the next new big closer. I'm telling you, dude. Like,
that's Ken Giles, who I also have, so go suck a fucking...
You got... Yeah, but he's still going to close, dude. He's going to Houston to close.
I know, and exactly. That's a big thumb.
Carson Smith, Ken Giles. Like, you got lucky. You got lucky. He could have been traded somewhere to be a setup guy. I got a guy that went to a good team, a big team, to be a setup guy. And Seattle closer, it's not sexy, but he's still got the ERA and the Ks and, save stat. But now in Boston,
have you heard more about Chapman and his domestic violence? What, shooting a gun and choking a friend?
What was it? Yeah, he choked his girlfriend and then fired a gun 8 times into the bed or something weird or something like that. Wasn't that? Is that what I read?
Something like that. I didn't know he shot it into a bed. I thought he shot it into the air.
All right, maybe again, we're probably speculating on something we shouldn't. I don't know what the fuck happened. We weren't there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But
so
again,
a weapon was discharged and a woman was choked and he was there and the police are investigating. And Major League Baseball's investigating. He's probably going to get suspended, right? Especially with the new no tolerance. As it should be. There should be. These are people that are indirectly role models for children, and we don't want them beating their women. Especially, all right, so here's the thing. Back in the day, nobody should get beat. Nobody should beat their woman. But, back in the day, that sort of stuff didn't necessarily make the news. Way back, reporters didn't report that stuff. There wasn't as much 24/7 coverage of everything. Now that there is, and I'm not saying it was okay to just not punish it back then or whatever, but now that it's so prolific and anything that happens everybody hears about, You have to do something, because kids are sitting there like, well, why Chapman? He's my favorite closer. I got him on my fantasy team, and like he beat his wife and fired a good. You come down hard. That's why these sports leagues are doing this. I hope. I mean, you got to come down hard on this shit to set the example. Like, you can't fucking have that. I mean, honestly, if
so obviously Chapman's trade value just went through got fucked out the window.
I mean,
like, not only that, but he's still a free agent, so you only got him for a year if you don't negotiate an extension.
What do they do? Do they Do they now have to negotiate an extension?
You're doing fucking. No, you don't have to. You just fucking pay less to get him, with the thoughts that he might walk. But what are you doing if you're a goddamn free agent and like the biggest fucking pouring money, making it rain in like any sports history, where these contracts for like fucking Jeff Samardzija is getting fucking over $100 million. Like,
yeah. Well, dude should have been.
You don't choke your girlfriend and shoot pistols. Like,
no, you definitely
fucking
don't.
mind your P's and Q's and throws 105 miles a goddamn hour and shut the fuck up and play some goddamn ball.
That's really all you should be worried about. Not keep your eyes on the prize, which is either a championship or the fucking do-re-mi, right?
I mean, you signed that goddamn guaranteed $200 million contract, and yeah, beat your woman and drink your beers and get DUIs. Like,
no, don't do that. That's bad. Right? I mean, I think that's you got to set an example for kids.
I'm just
you're
saying,
not necessarily there to be a role model, but indirectly.
Do it after you get paid.
Yeah, after you get the guaranteed contract, right?
It worked for Miguel Cabrera.
Worked for Miguel Cabrera. Worked for A-Rod. That money's guaranteed, baby.
Exactly.
Oh man. Yeah.
So speaking of like shame and disgrace and money,
have you been
Pete
disgraced?
Rose.
Oh yeah, they said still not allowed into baseball. He's still lifetime ban upheld.
Still lifetime, but there was kind of a little bit of back talk about how he and the Hall of Fame are different. And just because he's not being reinstated into the Hall of Fame doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't need to be held out of the Hall of Fame.
Wait, so how is he going to get into the Hall of Fame if it's such a... You know what I mean?
Because that's all baseball writers. That's not MLB. The Hall of Fame is different in the MLB. And basically, it was just said that, like, okay, he shouldn't be in a decision-making process where he can possibly change the outcome of a game and the integrity. But so again, like, doing, like, all-star appearances and, doing, like, play-by-play commentary shit, that's okay. Hall of Fame, hey, that might be okay, too.
You think so? You think now the writers are going to come around on him?
It was left open.
Okay. I mean, I'll admit, the Fox broadcast, the FS1 broadcast this past fall for, what was it, American League Division Series or whatever?
It was where Pete Rose did it?
Well, it was Pete Rose side by side with A-Rod. I thought that was like, right?
There you go. Win at any cost!
Right? And then there's Dusty Baker. The only guy missing from that fucking picture was fucking Barry Bonds.
Sosa?
Yeah, oh yeah, Sammy and Barry or something like that. Maybe like Rafael Palmeiro.
Mike McGuire. Just bring the whole
booth needs to be, the broadcast team needs to be cheaters. I don't know. All right, so speculation question here. A-Rod.
No.
No, I'm not talking about Hall of Fame or any of that. Oh, God. Somebody just made a mess. Next year. Repeat performance from this year? Do I hold? Do I keep? Do I drop? What do you do with A-Rod? I mean, are you drafting him next year? Are you going to pick him up? What are you going to do with A-Rod?
I'm not touching him.
Okay. I mean, you just think he's not going to even produce the same value?
No.
All right. I mean, I don't know. That's
I
why I'm
think he
asking.
had something to prove. He quieted his doubters. And again, what A-Rod did was awesome.
It was great.
But
I just wish I.
maybe I'll add him after he's been dropped and starts
Oh
picking it
yeah.
up.
After I drop him and you pick him up, you're just gonna be like vulture in and like.
That's the only way he's going to be on my team.
I really wish I could have taken one last
Again,
year.
I'm not saying I won't ever add anybody.
Okay.
I mean that's one thing.
I do wish I had one last hurrah, A-Rod and Pujols, my Poopy and A-Rod combo, Pujols and A-Rod,
Honestly, I think
A-Holes and Poo-Rod. That was it.
was it.
I mean, honestly, like, I wish I had it. And if I hadn't traded Chris Davis last baseball season, I
And
might
if you
actually.
started Jose Fernandez,
I didn't even need to start. Honestly, if I had had Chris Davis, my hitting, like my batting, the bats would have carried me through. Like that's what that team was built around. And I tried to get too
again,
cute in the
you
arms race with
manage
you.
yourself right out the window.
I did. I did. I mean, I didn't start Jose when I paid for Jose in a massive trade. It's all right. I still got two closers. I got to decide if I'm going to keep. I mean, we're all right. We're waxing on way
Well,
too long about
we'll
baseball.
get
It's not
into
even close to
baseball and
baseball.
all that. But one quick caveat is we got a couple openings in both our dynasty leagues.
Yeah, we're looking for 3 new managers. Like we
In
said, each league. Well, I mean, we were looking for 3 total, or we were looking for 6 total. Because my thoughts, especially because we're all right. So 2 of the teams, were owned by, one guy. Well, am I describing that right? I don't know how I should describe this. There
one
was one
manager
manager
for
for 2
two
teams.
leagues, 2 teams.
Right.
Same
Okay.
dude.
Okay. So we're replacing a total of 4 people, but there's 3 teams in each league. Does that make sense? Mandalay's teams are available. Swamp's teams are available. Both were very good managers. Swamp was around 3-4 years. Mandalay was around like 6-7 years. The other teams were guys that have been around 6-7 years, probably too. Done. Out.
Again,
We're
great
removing them.
managers. Go watch our 2 Angry Commissioners videos if you want more backstory on it. We're not getting too into it right now because of this podcast. This is kind of a teaser. What we're going to do is we're going to open
3
it up
teams.
and we're going to do a mock auction draft and see how people do with the council of me, you, Nathan, Woot, and Joe.
Yeah.
And decide who fits the leagues and who we want to join.
So there's going to be a panel of 5 judges. All right. Some people have already asked about these dynasty baseball teams. They want to get in, and we said, yeah, sure. But the real deal is that there's a lot of people that want in on this, and we're gonna open it up even past people watching on our YouTube channel and whatever. What we want to have is like this massive mock auction, and it's going to be. I think we'll do what Basketball Monster did, where we create the league and then just delete it. Unless everybody wants to play it, I guess we could do that. But we want to do a mock auction, and most people don't do auctions, so that's why we want it to be the tryout. It's kind of like a triathlon or a something, I don't know, some sort of athletic event. But since the interest is pretty wide in these 3 teams, or 3 total spots, and again, 2 of these teams are great. One is a total rebuild. Like so. One of the teams in Ryan's league and one of the teams in my league are pretty much rebuilding projects. They need like a real gung-ho guy that's willing to wait not guy, person. Somebody that's willing to like do their diligence and make trades and sit through a few drafts, rebuild a few years kind of thing and make a good team. The other two teams literally are probably some of the best in the league. Ryan just dropped out of the podcast. I don't know where the fuck he went, but hopefully he'll be back. I'll just continue describing what we're going to do. Oh, Ryan is back. But yeah, so we're going to do...
Sorry, I don't know what the hell happened.
Don't worry about it. I'm just describing... All right, so we got these 3 teams in each league, and we're going to open it up. Everybody who's interested, we're going to do this mock auction draft, and we're going to draft it. We're going to pretend it's like a fresh dynasty league, okay? So there is no, it's not like who won the draft. We're going to take this panel of people that have been in our leagues and we trust their opinion for a very long time. They're like half the league, essentially. Myself, Ryan, Joe, Woot, Nathan, Reverend Nate Dogg.
And what, we'll come up with some qualifiers, player profile, how well you draft for dynasty, even like your activity in the chat. Do we think we're gonna get along with everybody? Like,
was the banter good? Like, do we have good foreplay? How was the sex? All these
exactly. Like, did you at least give us a reach around?
Right. You make sure I got mine too.
Yeah.
So we're
buy me dinner.
Well, yeah. All the qualifiers. Like, so it's gonna be like tryouts. That's what we're going to do for tryouts. So we know we got good managers coming into our leagues. Normally we can just find good managers and we're good on it. But that's boring. That's boring. Now that we got this FSAA channel, we're going to do something cool. Let's tryouts. So,
well, I mean, again, that's why we're actually like replacing these managers. These aren't just like no-show inactive teams. These are managers.
Yeah, they're great managers. Like guys you would kill for in most of your own leagues. But we just, thought we'd change it up, get some new blood. Got to get new blood in your leagues.
Sometimes it's for the best interest of the league.
Even if you're replacing good guys. And we do this. And yeah, it's not often that we replace managers. I mean, the shortest amount of time anybody's been in our leagues right now, I think, is 3 or 4 seasons. So, both of our leagues are in their 12th year or going into their 12th year.
Yeah, there was like one year where we had like a 3 or 4 team turnover and like it turned into like the best year we've had. Like,
oh, we were so worried. We thought, oh, fuck. Right? Like we were literally thinking this is where some of the newest people came in was 3 or 4 years ago. And we thought, well, damn, a quarter of our leagues are like just people got old and retired from fantasy.
Again, these were also managers we've been in leagues with for years and years before this.
Yeah, 6 years. Like we
lost a couple of our longest long-term managers.
They just decided they were done playing fantasy sports, and so we're like, well, fuck. And then we found Nate. We found our buddy Nathan. I mean, I don't know. We found all kinds of great managers, and when you replace managers, sometimes it's the best thing you can do for a long-term league.
So that's what we're hoping for, and we're hoping to do. We'll make a video about it, and we'll do the live. Oh, Tom's writing a blog post.
I can type.
Do an actual live stream of the mock draft, and so there's going to be a whole series of shit involved in our baseball leagues. If you haven't noticed by now, like we're super excited about baseball coming up, and like the floodgates are just waiting to be open with baseball content.
Well, yeah, starting beginning of the new year. I mean, let's get our asses through the holidays here real quick, and then after New Year's, it's fucking baseball season as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. But that's after New Year's. Right now, it's really still, I mean, other than the fantasy football playoffs, like it's basketball.
Right.
And if you've watched any of our live streams, you kind of heard us talk about an accidental trade in it's your keeper league.
Yeah. Somebody fucked up bad.
It's a good friend of ours, Steven Malcor. He's our Taco.
Taco fucked up. Yeah, I mean, all right, yeah, Taco from that show, The League.
And I'm sure if you guys watch our podcast or live streams, you know Bronson, and he's co-hosted a couple of these, and he's always around and chilling
He's
on our website.
He's a tenacious bastard. I'll give him that. Yeah. So tenacious Bronson there, kind of hoodwinked Malcor a bit with a trade. Now we've been talking back and forth about this particular trade, and Malcor had refused. It was like the core of the trade was Zach LaVine and Dwayne Wade. And, on the surface, maybe in a dynasty league, that could be a straight swap, depending on if somebody liked Zach LaVine, I guess. But there were picks involved, and Bronson was trying to get like a second-round pick off of Malcor, and Malcor had refused to give up his second pick. And then all of a sudden, the trade goes through, and Malcor's giving up his first pick. And I'm like, what? Malcor's got easily the worst team in the league. And, it's not a slight. It's just how it happened. He drafted old. Players fell apart. So now he's in like this 2-3 year rebuilding process. But he needs his early draft picks.
And he's had a couple like draft picks not pan out.
Yeah. Well, and then sometimes when you trade away your best player to Ryan.
Hey, that still worked out better for him.
Well, sort of. We'll see. We'll see in the long run. He's got pieces. He's got assets.
Well, I mean, again, just because you brought it up, I mean, you keep fucking harping me on this shit. It was 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, IT2 and Omer Asik, who, again, he's waiver wire fodder. But the picks became what? Julius Randle and Jaleel Okafor plus IT2, who if he was a good manager, he should be fucking shipping them off against more youth and upside and draft picks out of IT2.
Yeah, if you can get IT2 to like turn into players plus picks.
Yeah.
I mean, what he should be doing is trying to offer him for like KP or something like straight up.
Yeah, something along those lines.
I mean, I'd try to turn Isaiah Thomas into anything young with that similarly ranked, similarly valued. I mean, because somebody will buy Isaiah Thomas, I'm sure. As
you should be. I mean, IT2 has been fucking incredible.
All right, well, let's not micromanage for Malcor, but yeah, this trade that went through, it was Zach LaVine and wait, Bronson skipped school to like what? Bronson skipped school. See, this is how our channel is correcting kids, Ryan. Like,
it's not good.
You're drinking, I'm smoking a joint, and like kids are skipping class to go home and watch us. This is not good. People's parents are not gonna like us. Oh my God.
Damn it, Bronson. We told you to go to class.
We told you to stay in school, god damn it. God damn it, Bronson. Stop skipping school. You better be all right. Hey, if you're skipping class, you go right to the website, mister, and do your job. How about that?
Okay,
right.
going back to the trade. We got a little off topic because, again, Bronson.
It's Bronson. But Bronson, all right, so Bronson hoodwinked Malcor with this trade. It was like total dog shit. Malcor, he's in line for Ben Simmons next year if everything goes the way.
Easily the worst team in the league. He's won like 11 games all fucking year. And, like, honestly, he really should have
Ben
number
Simmons.
1 pick.
But yeah, he needs Ben Simmons. And when he gets Ben Simmons, Bronson's all like, oh, yay. He's doing the fucking, like, he's so proud of himself.
Hey, I was giving him props, too.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, for league integrity.
Again, like, okay, so real quick, it was Dwayne Wade and a first-round pick for Zach LaVine and a second and a third pick, something like that.
Okay.
Obviously, everybody in our league was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, everyone's like, dude, no, Malcor needs that pick.
This trade shouldn't go through. Like,
the whole league
you set the price for number 1 overall picks. Like, you
early
gave Kawhi Leonard.
That was last year, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
So top 25 Kawhi Leonard, not top 10 Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
I gave up Kawhi Leonard.
Not a fucking Zach LaVine.
No. So the price on early first-round picks is high.
Yes, it is. In Dynasty League, it should be like
That's
you
a
know
value commodity.
what you're getting. And like, come on, let's be real. Zach LaVine, it's not moving the needle that much.
No. And so Malcor works on like oil rigs and somewhere in space. I mean, the guy is impossible to get a hold of because of his fucking job. He's always traveling. But I finally got a hold of him, and I was just like, "Hey, dude, was that a trade you really wanted? Like, were you in on that? Was that something you were part of?" He's like, "Oh, what trade?" I was like, "The one you made for Levine, and you moved Dwayne Wade in your first round pick." And he's like, "I moved my first round pick. Oh shit!" And so like he didn't realize, like, apparently he thought it was the other way around. And you're like, all right, so this goes back to like checking your league settings before you draft and like doing your diligence. Like if you are in a rush, it's probably not the time to like accept a trade. I gotta like, even though you want to like be good at doing league business and facilitate people's needs and all this sort of stuff. Like if I'm in a big hurry as commissioner, I won't necessarily handle the business that minute just because like I need to like, even if it looks clean, great, good to go as the commish, I still need a minute to kind of like digest it and think about it, even if it's not even in question, but just as the guy who's in charge of the league and looking out for everybody.
And just give a chance for other managers to see the trade.
Right. And that was the other thing about this particular trade. I guess the way we had our league set up, we wanted it to be that business happened as quick as possible. So we still had, it was a commish review. That's how our trades are. There's no shenanigans. So you can't, it's not like you're like, oh my God, is the commish going to fuck up my trade? No, we let every trade go through for the most part. But we set it so there was no protests. And when we set it for no protests, we just thought that like, we'd leave it and then we'd accept the trades or process the trades whenever. And then it just meant that like somebody couldn't hit veto or complain to us about the trade. But what no protests meant was that like literally the minute anybody hit accept on a trade, it just does it on its own and it goes through automatically.
And it doesn't need an email.
No, it doesn't send an email. So nobody in the league gets to hear about a trade when it happens if you have it on this no protest or whatever. All of a sudden you have to like log in and see it in the queue of activities. And so we obviously turned that off. We switched back to normal 2-day waiting period, even though there is no 2-day waiting period for trades in our leagues. If you have a trade, we'll process it that same day, unless it's something that's in dispute. Now, see, let's go to that real quick. This is the beauty of our leagues. This trade wasn't even necessarily in dispute, but everybody in the league's looking out for Malcor. Everybody in the league's looking out like just for the league itself. They're like, dude, this is a bad team. This team needs its first pick. This first pick could be Ben Simmons. So everybody's just like, hey, I don't know about this trade. And we don't stop trades. We don't veto trades. So when all of a sudden the league's speaking up and chiming in, we have to listen. We have to pay attention to that, right?
This normally is, again, that's the whole point about processing the trades and all this. Like, we got a group of really good managers. There's no collusion. And everybody knows fantasy basketball, like, well enough to make decent trades. And when this shit came up, like, it was other managers like, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah, this just doesn't look right. And it wasn't even that there was cheating. Nobody thought there was cheating. Everybody's just like, well, this really sucks for Malcor. And like, what if you have to replace Malcor's team at some point? They need that pick. They need that Ben Simmons. It's a bad team, So everybody's like, this is a good league. You got managers that are concerned with the overall condition and health of the whole league and not just their own teams. So,
all right, you know how good this league actually is it completely policed itself. Like,
including,
okay, the trade went through, processed. Couple managers were, throwing up emails, answering. Bronson, who was the recipient of the trade, like, made a post about it on the message board. Couple managers went in, and then Stevie chimed in like, oh shit, I didn't mean to trade my first pick. Like, I thought it was the other way around. This is why, like, you don't make trades while you're drunk and traveling, overworked.
or confused, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, oh shit, okay. obviously I didn't mean to trade the number 1 overall pick. And so Bronson, being the fucking pro and the champ that he is, like, okay,
Props to
cool.
Bronson, yeah, for sure.
Props to Bronson. I'll go ahead.
Oh, Ryan's dropping out again. Somebody dropped out. The internet dropped out. Ryan took a shit, I guess. His internet took a shit. But yes, I'll just continue that thought. Props to Bronson. Because seriously, I mean, you know, that was a mistake. It was a bad deal for Stevie, bad deal for Malcor. Thankfully, he, actually responded and said, hey, I didn't mean to do that. But we got the kind of league where we got all pros. I've done this myself. I think it was with Woot last year. I made a trade. I thought I needed his pick for something. I was going to work it into another trade, and Woot started having like the whole buyer's remorse thing and trader's remorse, and I didn't really need the pick. That other trade fell through, so I was just like, well, let's just undo it. You know, I'll just trade you what you want. You know, I'll just give you your piece back, and you give me my pick back, and or vice versa. And I mean, that's a good league. That's what you do. I mean, it's not necessarily camaraderie, or I guess it's sportsmanship. It's good sportsmanship. I mean, we're competitive. There's a lot of competition, but you know, the only way to keep the league good and the league healthy with the competition is to be reasonable, be fair. Just look out for the health of the league, the overall situation. And again, props to Bronson for that. Dude came through like a champ. And
absolutely.
I mean, I didn't even have to like go like, all right, so the trade was already processed, picks removed, players removed. I thought I was gonna have to go and manually undo something, but they literally Bronson just sent he just sent the reverse of the trade back to Malcor. Malcor accepted. Bing bang boom, my job's done without having to do anything. So,
see, that's a sign of a damn good league, and like managers all being on the same page and having the best interest of the league at heart.
Yeah.
Like, and I knew he pulled one over on Malcor, and like, you know, it was just fucking good job all around, but especially to Bronson, because he could have raised the stink. And like, obviously I get it. Like, you know, there's accept trade. Are you sure? Okay. Like, yeah, you really shouldn't accept a trade that you don't know what you're accepting. And like, that's on you.
Yeah, I mean, Malcor, you did fuck up, buddy. But...
And that's why during our live stream, like, I was like saying, like, fuck it, the trade's accepted, put it through, let it go.
I mean, I would have been fine with that had Malcor see, that's the thing is Malcor didn't actually complain. He was just like, I didn't mean to do that. You know, he wasn't like, hey, undo this, or you know, he wasn't like freaking out. He was cool with it. He, you know, fair's fair, or whatever. I fucked up. It's on me. But I think that genuine honesty, and again, genuine honesty between two managers, professionals, the league works it out. Like this is the beauty of a fucking good league with good sportsmanship. I mean, it works itself out. So there's no bad blood. There's no hard feelings. Like, let's just keep the competition as clean as possible, and that's what everybody's doing.
This is kind of like, I guess, in my brother-in-law's league. It's $100 buy-in. Most of the people in the league are like doctors and like all kinds of shit.
Really?
Where $100 doesn't really mean shit.
Okay.
But someone accidentally, I don't know how you accidentally drop a player, but they accidentally dropped Al Jefferson.
Well, he is doing drugs. I mean, let's just...
Right. But at the same time, Al Jefferson was dropped. And the brother-in-law was asking me about it. But the problem is Al Jefferson had cleared waivers. Someone used their waiver claim to add him. And and other people who made moves. Like there's that whole like domino effect. Like if
Oh,
if dude accidentally drops a player, then while he's still on waivers, like makes a post, gets to the commissioner of the league, like, hey,
hey, I didn't mean to
accidentally
drop that
dropped
guy.
Al Jefferson by meant to drop Richard Jefferson or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, can you put him back on my team?
Yeah, that's an entirely different thing. But
You gotta do it pre-waiver. Fuck, I mean, Jesus.
wait past the waiver wire time, somebody else uses the waiver claimed Adam, makes another drop, and there's all this other shit that happens. Like, I'm sorry, that's just too goddamn late. Like, tough titty.
Yeah. Now, auction withdrawal here. Did the guy ask for Al Jefferson back?
I think so, but it was after the fact. But like again, he was like, all right, if not a big deal. The guy who added Al Jefferson off of the waiver wire, like same thing, like, hey, I get it, not a big deal. But to me, to like revert the league back to the way it was just way too goddamn much work for a commissioner because
that's
he's got to
unreasonable.
reverse the trades, talk to drop this guy to add this other guy, reset the waiver wire priority, and it's like, oh shit, what waiver did you even had? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the big one. I mean, trying to reset waiver priorities and shit. Right there. I mean, if it's he's already claimed, he already went through waivers, nobody said anything sooner. And like I can actually see in a very like that to me is like an after the fact, oops, I shouldn't have done that. Like that was like a panic move, it sounds like, that somebody's trying to recover.
Possibly.
And you can't, I mean, even if it's not, like, so much has happened already, like with the waivers and the mother, like you can't undo that. As a commission, you can't undo that. Luckily, with my trade situation in my league, like, the managers themselves worked it out. Like, now say there was like a trade in your brother-in-law's league where they just sent everything back or somehow they did it, like that works itself out. But you can't, like, trying to remember waiver numbers and like, okay, you had 7th priority and you got the claim, so we got to everybody goes back down 1, you go from 12 to 6, like, no.
Right. I mean, yeah, like you can figure it out and you can do it, but it's just a pain in the ass.
And you don't ask your commish to do that unless it's like a really extreme circumstance. I don't even know what extreme circumstance I'd do that personally.
Honestly, like,
as a commissioner,
probably not. I'd just be like,
no.
Pay the fuck attention to who the hell you're dropping. Like,
yeah, thanks for the fucking wire fodder.
I don't know if I've ever dropped anybody on accident that I didn't mean to.
I never have.
I mean, it's possible. I can see it happening, but like, if I did, like, I wouldn't wait until fucking he claims waiver before I said anything.
I think actually, I think that's happened in our baseball dynasties once or twice. But again, it was one of those things like, hey, commish, like, I mean, there's an email immediately. There's an email. There's a post. Like, nobody grabbed that guy. I'm talking to the commish. I didn't mean to drop him. You know what I mean? So everybody's like,
the one time I can think of where it happened to me is where this was 2 years ago now or whatnot, when Arizona had huge rains and floods.
Oh,
and at the time, my windshield wipers didn't even work. So I couldn't even drive down the street in my truck. So I ended up walking home from my work
with your phone in your pants.
When I got off with my phone's in my pants. And I got to a point where I got to my neighborhood and I was literally like knee deep in water, walking like down the neighborhood streets to get home. And as I'm fucking chomping through the water, my Yahoo app fantasy football like turned on, and like I dropped like 2 of my best players.
Your ass is just dropping.
Yeah, as I'm just like walking, and it's like, oh shit, I didn't want to drop those guys. And like I immediately like said something about it, but then I don't know, I never ended up getting those players back, like the commission. But again, this was also So the league that I rejoined, where it was only like the 6 players and like drafted when it shouldn't have. So that
Oh,
was
that's your
kind of a
busted.
sign where like the league
Okay.
wasn't in best shape.
So that league busted out anyways this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ryan, your fat ass is dropping players in the middle of a fucking rainstorm. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's fucking funny. Well, all right. So, but yeah, all right. So I was gonna say I could see making a trade that you didn't mean to make more than I could see accidentally dropping players. But I also do see how players get dropped. Your fat ass might do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I guess. I mean, did we cover all of our topics? We talked about the winter meetings. We talked about accidental trades.
The only other thing we have is a possibility was hockey with a question mark.
Yeah. How many hockey teams do you have?
I have
You
3.
froze. You have 3. Ryan has 3.
I have 3 hockey teams. Yes.
I have 4. Are you playing your teams? Are you looking at them? Like, I mean,
I'm mainly just setting my lineups at this point. Like I've actually had quite a few injuries, mainly Connor McDavid and Carey Price. I lost both of them in one league, and then one of those 3 in all 3 of my leagues.
okay. I mean,
So
Price
I mean,
Price
I'm
more
in
than
like
McDavid, but
3rd and 4th place, and then like one league I'm not doing too great, where I'm in like 8th or something.
okay.
But like honestly, I don't watch any hockey. There's like they don't talk about hockey on ESPN.
Yeah, they do. What the fuck are you talking about? They got Barry Melrose on there
Yeah,
every
I was
night.
gonna say
Every night.
barely now and then
But every night.
I don't see him that much. I
Okay,
don't see
see.
hockey covered very much.
All right, it is. I mean, it's like on
No,
Sports Center at
not
night.
no, not like it is with fucking basketball or football.
Do you have TSN? I mean, you got that satellite sports package. You got TSN, I'm sure.
I don't watch that shit.
It's Canada's ESPN. I mean, watch it. It's got hockey on there.
I don't.
Well,
Maybe I should.
Yeah, you should. I mean, so you have something to talk about when you're talking about hockey. I don't have anything to talk about when I honestly haven't checked my hockey teams in a week or 2. I feel bad about it. Like, I mean, active, competitive apparently just got fucked out the window for me when it comes to hockey. I will say this. We did invest in all the wrong rookies. I mean, we should have gone for our local rookie. We should have gone for Domi. I mean, Max Domi. Now, that's ironic. You know, I mean, overall long-term career, probably Eichel and McDavid have better careers. But so far this year, you know, I mean, Max Domi's been pretty damn good.
I do have him in one of our leagues or one of my leagues.
Okay. I mean, again, he's not like
I mean, again, like we're not. I actually used to be a pretty big hockey fan back in like the late '90s, but honestly, like I've stopped watching. Like I don't even play hockey on the PlayStation anymore. Like I used to play on my Sega, like NHL, fucking
NHL.
'98. Like
Oh, see, I was thinking NHL 94.
that was my first thought, but then I think I went to '98. But I played all of them. Like
Okay.
the hockey games are great. Like especially you were able to fight in them, and
That
like,
was what I was gonna say. That was the only reason I ever actually played it. Like I played it with like a cousin or a brother-in-law or something. You know, I was like, oh, you want to play some EA? You know, it was
so I
EA
remember
NHL
playing
and
fucking
punching.
with Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky and Eric
You, like,
Lindros and
drop the gloves and get in fights, and it was like little pixel
Brian
people.
Leach. Hell yeah, Paul Coffey. Like
I don't even know who
but-
those fucking people are.
yeah,
They
but
were
I
just
mean,
pixel
again,
people.
I used to be a hockey fan,
Okay.
but I don't know. I've just kind of stopped watching.
I never started, but isn't that odd? I like, why am I playing fantasy hockey and I don't watch it? I'm playing it. I mean, at least
that's because we're fucking fantasy addicts.
well, I'm a baseball fan, so goaltending stats are like right in my wheelhouse. I mean, it's like pitching. I mean, everything about goaltending stats is like a pitcher. So
Oh yeah, ERA,
I mean,
complete game, shutout, win,
yeah. I mean, yeah,
saves
like
or Ks.
it just translates. So goalies are like pitchers, basically. So I mean, I guess maybe that's why I play hockey. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I punt goaltending when I play hockey. I do that.
Well, you punt pitching when you do baseball.
Unless it's our dynasty leagues and I go arms
Well,
crazy.
we got an arms race going on and that shit.
I know. God damn it. We keep going back to fantasy baseball. We're trying to talk about other shit. This podcast has gone on long. The fucking
hockey. You want to do Q&A? Do we want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's do a quick Q&A. Just throw a shout out to one of our viewers and website members, Brian Wynn. What's up, buddy?
Woo!
Had a really good chat with Brian on the website the other day, and he had a couple of questions. And Bronson says, "Fuck hockey, go to Q&A," and that's what we're doing, buddy. But yeah, so Brian and I had a nice chat. He had a couple questions. First of all, first thing he wanted to know is, why don't you guys do the show together at the Man Cave anymore? Did you get kicked out? So he was asking me if I got kicked out of your house. Is Tom no longer allowed at Ryan's house? I assume I'm allowed back, right?
Oh yeah, no, you didn't do anything to get kicked out of the house.
No, nothing bad happened. There's no bad blood or nothing like that.
No, I mean between the two of us, like that's not gonna be an issue. Like
we'll work it out. We'll fight it out.
If my wife says you're not allowed over, we might just have to have you here when she's at work.
Right. She knows she can't get rid of me. I'm second wife. Or third wife or someone. I'm some number of wives of yours. You're a polygamist or you're crazy, Ryan. But yes, no, so basically what happened is, Brian, I guess maybe missed one of the podcasts or something where we talked about it, but the camera's been in the shop. Camera had to go back to Nikon. Nikon was generous enough to fix the camera free of cost for me because it was still under warranty, thankfully. And yeah, Jenny is back. Jenny's going to be back in action probably as soon as tomorrow when Ryan and I get together again. And we're going to work on some new videos. So, get ready for new videos. Again, we're going to hit it harder starting with the new year. So right now it's not quite there. And one of the things that Brian said is that when we're in the same room, our dynamic is better. That's probably true. I would agree. I mean, Ryan and I play off each other. It's kind of like comedy and acting, and it's nice to be face to face and playing off each other. Let's see. Okay, so the other question Brian had is, would we let Tyreek Evans go for Goran Dragic? Are you concerned about Tyreek Evans' knees? That is the primary concern I have with Tyreek Evans. We've been preaching it for a while now. We've been talking about it. I mean, Tyreek's having a nice season, and Tyreek is very capable of having a nice season if he has a full season. But the knees, I mean, he probably was born with bad knees or something. Like, he came out hobbled. His mom squoze him out, and he started walking, and then blew out his knee when he was a year old. That's my guess. I don't know. Just his knees are scary. So the question of will we let Tyreek go for Goran Dragic? I said yes, because I don't trust Tyreek's knees. I don't trust Tyreek Evans' health overall. And even if he does finish the season and he is good, I still think Goran Dragic, even with the missing tooth after last night,
right?
He's still a good buy low. I think he's a good buy low or get now with the expectation for second half.
Well, especially Flash, the player formerly known as Flash, good down at any time.
Yeah. So, Goran Dragic didn't get a max contract to be fourth fiddle. I mean, he's actually literally behind Whiteside in the scoring order and all this other stuff. And Dwayne Wade.
Well, honestly, man, I hope that this whole situation implodes on him. I hope that Whiteside leaves him for another team for a giant contract because they can't afford him. And then Bosch and Wade and Dragic all fucking hit the crapper. The Suns get a goddamn good first round pick out of the trade.
What is that? Oh, 2018, 2020 or something like that?
Some shit. There's a couple of them years down the road, but I'm hoping it just works out perfectly where Miami just like takes the shitter right at the same goddamn time.
Let's see. Oh yeah, so Brian was asking about a couple of pickups here in our chat. I actually saved the chat so I could reference it later. He was talking about, Matt Barnes. And yeah, Barnes. Right. All right. So there's two pickups for Memphis right now. There's Lee and Barnes, and we were kind of discussing which one had more shelf life, which one might be more useful. I was saying Barnes. It looked like, again, Barnes. I don't know if either of them are permanent starters. I don't think they are in Memphis.
Honestly, I give it to Allen just based. Again, this is kind of like a deep, active, competitive league where I'd roster either one of them, and I'd roster Allen just because of that steal specialist.
Allen, well, but right now it's Barnes and Lee.
Oh.
See, I don't know what's going on with Tony Allen.
Again, he gets you steals.
Well, yeah, but we were just talking about guys that are getting starts now in Memphis. Okay, and we were kind of comparing the two, like which had better shelf life. And I was just saying probably Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes is doing a little bit of everything, and he's like rebounding like crazy when he's getting these starts. So, he's kind of a 3-and-D, decent percentages, plays with a lot of hustle because he wants to start. He's playing with.
Again, we've seen this before.
Right.
Again, I don't like necessarily adding these players that
flash. They're flash in the pan.
They have some good games here and there,
but they're not necessarily long term. But like in a daily situation, or for a couple of, like if they have, maybe it's that pickup. You got that flex spot in your roster where you pick up a guy that's got 4 or 5 games in a given week. You just kind of use it that way.
Especially if you have slot.
Yeah. So I think that was kind of mostly what we were talking about. The other thing he was asking me, our third question from Brian, again, these are all Brian questions. Thank you, Brian. But his third question was, I know you guys love CJ McCollum, but who do you love more? CJ McCollum or the Greek Freak?
Giannis.
That's what I said too. Like McCollum really fits my like whole roto style teams, and he's a very, very smart player. But like Giannis is so young, and like he keeps getting bigger and better, and every year he's developing. Like he's just such a like fascinating player, especially with the defense, and so like he's more compelling because he's kind of a more interesting story. And I said it wasn't a fair comparison, actually, right? You love CJ because he's all about like brains and he's more of like a student of the game.
Yeah, again, brains and heart.
So maybe
I get it.
I was gonna say, it's probably there's two different styles set up there. One guy's all physical ability, the other guy's probably more like playing with his brain and his analytical side, and like he's still got skill. Obviously, he's an NBA player, and they're just different positions, different players. But I just said it was a more compelling story. It's more entertaining. Greek Freaks, just
even athletic. for fantasy perspective, like I still like Giannis.
Okay.
Again, don't get me wrong. I love CJ McCollum, but I have, again, multiple teams, those players on them. So.
Okay. All right. There was a. All right, hang on. There was one trade. I want to mention this real quick. Give me 1 second.
What, am I trading Tim Duncan for second round, or trading for Tim Duncan for a second round pick?
No, that was fine. You're just stacking up. You're gonna win our fucking leagues. Whoop-de-doo.
Woo! do. Yeah, whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-fucking-doo.
We were talking about if the Suns trade Markieff Morris for Ryan Anderson.
Yeah.
We were hoping that happens. I'd love that. I think Ryan Anderson fits the Suns just fine.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and then you got him and Mirza.
Yeah.
So I like that. We also talked about, can you believe Golden State lost to, what was it, Milwaukee or whatever? I mean, yeah, that had to end sometime.
Yeah, I mean, double OT in Boston?
Yeah. Well, it's just, back-to-back games and now it's like what I was watching the interviews after that game, and it's like what your guy says. Who's your guy? The fucking dude, I always forget his name. Swingman, defense.
Draymond Green?
Draymond. God, why do I always forget his name? I don't know why I always forget Draymond Green's name. I'm like, that guy that's like not the Splash Brother. But yeah, so I always forget about Draymond Green. But yeah, all right, so I was watching his interviews after the game and stuff, and what he said I think makes the most sense. It was fun, but they were so like the focus was on that, not on the season, not on getting to the playoffs, not on getting to where they were last year and winning a championship again. So now that the streak's over, it's like they can kind of like take a breath, relax. There's no shame, there's no sadness. Like we lost, we won.
No. See, you're.
But now you can focus on the season. Now you can just relax and play basketball. Is what he was saying.
No, that's total bullshit because even that one loss, like, whatever, they didn't get the all-time consecutive games won in a row. But it's all about that goddamn single season record.
They'll get to the season record. I'm pretty sure they will.
You don't think that's going to be pressure from fucking here on out?
But now they can just keep doing streaks. Yeah, I know. But now they can just keep doing streaks. And their next streak, they might beat that all-time record. Who knows?
Again, you just to talk about how it's just about the season and getting back where it was. No, you don't have a fucking all-time historical start and the record of beating the fucking greatest team in fucking basketball and like not have pressure.
I'm sorry, if I'm the coach of that team, if I'm Luke Walton, if I'm Steve Kerr, like that is not at all my focus. My focus is on getting to the finals again. No,
obviously it's not.
You get back to
obviously that is.
You're like the Spurs. Fuck the regular season. It's not about. They're already in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Well, so
it should be the focus is winning.
The Bulls team lost as many games as it did.
They had to rest. You can't win every back. But see, I'm not worried about that. Why are the players going to worry about that? I'm more worried about getting back to the playoffs, the finals, and winning another championship. I'd rather go back to back than have like a bunch of streaks or the best record. Fuck the record. Fuck the regular season record. I want a championship. That's me.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. All right. So that obviously it was a good topic there. Golden State, one of the all-time best teams. Maybe we'll find out. All right. One last little question here, or comment, trade, whatever. This was something Brian did yesterday, and I should mention it because it was actually I was there for it. It was live. He has like a three-player keeper league, so it's like a smaller keeper.
Yeah.
So he is going to trade Butler, Chicago, for Eric Bledsoe, Ryan Anderson, and Rudy Gobert.
Okay, so is he getting Butler or trading Butler?
He's trading Butler.
For Gobert, Ryan Anderson, and who?
Eric Bledsoe.
Okay.
Yeah, I said all day.
Yeah.
I said, I was like, that's like, you just gotta go. I'm not an advocate of Gobert, but mainly I was an advocate of not drafting Gobert. He's injured, but he'll be back soon, and I think honestly, he's like kind of like a Dragic in that sense. Probably like a second half, buy low, see what you're gonna get, play the upside card.
Well, again, like the whole Butler and Bledsoe, they're not that far different.
No, and then the fact that you're getting Gobert plus a very, very serviceable Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, it's not even a fucking question.
And I looked at his team. I don't know where that is. All right, so his team right now, Patrick Beverly, Bojan Bogdanovic, Gary Harris. He's got a lot of flex guards that he picked up on the waiver wire here.
Yeah.
Ersan Silva. I mean, the core of his team is Paul George, Jimmy Butler, Marcin Gortat, Monte Ellis, Zaza Pachulia, Russell Westbrook, Nicholas Batum, and also Jonas Valanciunas. So I was saying, yeah, I mean, you're getting a center. You're getting two centers in there.
Like,
he's picking up threes with Anderson.
As long as his fucking team makes the playoffs.
Yeah, he was like,
fine.
That's what he's asking. He said, "Does it make me championship caliber?" And I said, "Well, no, but what you've done is you've taken Jimmy Butler and you've spread him like, you know, it's like spreading him the mail."
Well, again, like, it's not necessarily because, again, I'm sorry, like, really, Jimmy Butler, Bledsoe, and Anderson. That's fair. That's
right.
Good trade.
Yeah,
but you throw in a Gobert.
Gobert. Yeah, now he gets another big man.
I don't know how many IL slots and deep the bench and all that shit.
It's a one IL, and so he basically had to drop 2 players to make that happen. And we were basically saying it was going to be Ty Lawson and one of those flex guards like Gary Harris or Bojan or Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's getting his threes. You know, the threes from Jimmy Butler, back with Anderson. The scoring's back with Bledsoe. And then, like, I mean, that is some gravy. Gobert gravy. He's got some Gobert gravy. That's
Brian.
Woo! Good job, Brian. Yeah, so.
All right. Anyways, good questions. Thanks for chiming in. We did have some more. We do answer them either through email or YouTube or Twitter.
Twitter's main. Twitter's my favorite, personally. It's easy.
Yeah. So, anyways, keep the questions coming.
We'll get back on our Q&A videos. We'll get back to pickup videos. It's just been a little holiday lull, but we're back. We're coming back.
We're back.
It's
we're ready to fucking knock it out of the park.
Yep. Especially now that Jenny's back.
Especially, I can't wait to break her in.
Right, just rub your hands all over her. They replaced all the rubbery and all the like. Oh, they just fine tuned Jenny.
Oh, I can adjust her aperture.
Yes, you can, and now she'll expose properly for you. Thank you, Jenny, for getting fixed. Thank you, Nikon. Yay!
All right. So, anyways, thanks for joining us. This was a good podcast. Ran a little long, but we had a lot of topics.
Yep. We'll be sure to. We don't normally do them live, but we're gonna kick it out to MP3, throw it up on the website and iTunes and Stitcher and all that. So again, if you ever want to take us mobile, iTunes and Stitcher, and God damn it, please leave a review, please.
God damn it, fantasy, God damn it, review.
Leave us an iTunes review, even if you don't have Apples or iTunes or any of that stuff. Make an account. Sign in and be like, this shit is great, just for us, because you're already watching and listening on YouTube. Just go to the iTunes and be like, yeah, I love it. Oh, it's so good. You could check them out on YouTube even if you want.
Absolutely.
Right? Do a little cross promotion for us. How about that? We'd love it. All right, so our website, fantasysportsaddicts.com, on Twitter at letter F, letter S, the word double, letter A, at FSAA. Everybody have a good week. One more time, Ryan, you want to give us a little prayer?
Fantasy God.
Woo!
Please get serenity to set my ideal lineup. And the courage to add drop aggressively. And the wisdom,
as always,
to make good trades. Motherfucking man. Woo.
Amen. All right. Thanks for listening to podcast.
Woo, I gotta go take a piss.
All right. Ryan's gonna go do what he's got to do. We'll see you next time. We'll talk to you next time. We'll see you for the live stream this week and other videos. Bye. Oh, we can actually hear Ryan urinating. At least if you're using headphones. We'll just switch back over for that. All right. Pee us out, Ryan. Just take us home. A little background music. Oh, that's relaxing. Yeah. Good job, Ryan. Yay!